Greetings and salutations. Today we're going to be talking about stretching your ears, what to do and what not to do. I'm currently at a 00, so this is what it looks like. It's not that big. Like, it's big but not big at the same time. And I would just get bigger jewelry. So if you're at a 22 or a 20 gauge, depending on what they like, Claire's jewelry, those are like around 20 gauge. So I would recommend just looking for jewelry that's bigger than that. So like if you're 22, get a 20 gauge, so on and so forth. Just go down. And 22, 20, 16, 14, 12, 10, 8, 10, 8, 6, 4, 2, 0, 00, and so on. So it goes down because I don't know how to explain it. It just goes down. So try not to jump sizes, because that's not good. You will get a blowout. You're asking for a blowout to happen, and a blowout is basically when you stretch too fast and your ears it basically does that, but it looks weird. Also, peep my Valentine's Day makeup. It's not much, but I like it. It's cute. Also, I've recently gained 6 subscribers on YouTube, so I really appreciate you guys. Thank you. We're at 12 now because, on YouTube it's really hard to, get your account seen unless you already have people that know your account and stuff. So I really appreciate you. Thank you. I would recommend getting a taper kit before you start stretching. Just get a taper kit. Get a taper kit. This is what a taper is. I'd also recommend getting a kit like this, not exactly like this, but something similar. But if you're allergic to acrylic, I don't recommend getting it because it'll halt your stretching journey, and it's gonna take longer to heal. So this is what a 16 gauge looks like. If you're also allergic to the O-rings, I don't recommend getting these type of tapers because it can, again, halt your stretching process. So that's how I stretched, and I jumped sizes because I didn't know better. But it's a good thing it's not that big of a difference. So I went from a 22 or a 20 gauge to 4 gauge in less than 3 months. Don't do that. Let your ears heal. Try to do a month apart or so. I wouldn't recommend months. I recommend, if you want to, months apart, but you don't have to do that. It's just that from what I've heard too, you can do it months apart, but that's for bigger sizes as well. So a 0 and up for months apart. But lower gauges, I'd say about maybe a month apart. Let it heal. Make sure you take care of them, because if you don't, they're gonna get infected and it's gonna take a longer time to heal. This is a 14 gauge. That is a 14 gauge. So I went from that tiny little needle jewelry to something this. And I know it doesn't look like that much of a difference, but let me tell you, when you start stretching, it hurts so much if you don't do it correctly. I didn't do it correctly. When you stretch, every time you stretch, use warm water and use warm water, and then stick your ear in there for a minute or so, and then get some form of ear oil for your ears, not just any oil, and put it on there, massage your ears, and then do it. Like, I promise you, you're gonna thank me later. Like, it's gonna go in like butter. When I started stretching, I just put the ear oil that you get from Spencer's, and I just put it in. If I would have known that if you put not hot water, but warm water, stick your ear in there and then did it, I would have been so happy. You don't know how happy I would have been. I would have been so happy. But that's what you do to help it go in easier. Don't just shove it in there, because of course that's not good. You're stretching raw, like dry skin. That's not good. So this is what a 12 gauge looks like. So here's the difference between a 12 and a 10 gauge. And here's the difference between a 10 gauge and a 8 gauge. Here's the difference between a 8 gauge and a 6 gauge. Here's the difference between a 6 gauge and a 4 gauge. There's a big difference. So please, when you stretch, make sure you take care of your gauges. I get it. If you want to stretch fast, I mean, you do you, girl. You do you. I don't recommend it because don't stretch too fast. Like, there's nothing wrong with stretching fast to some people, but don't do it. It's not worth it. Like, at some point, if you do get bigger, like, it also depends on, like, your ear, like, how much skin your ear has, too. So, like, me, I have a big earlobe, you know? So, I could potentially go bigger if I wanted to, but somebody who has, like, a smaller ear, you can still go bigger, but it'll be a lot thinner if you stretch too fast. And then, like, you'll have, like, big part, thin part, big part of your ear because you stretch too fast. So please don't do that. If you're allergic to acrylic, I recommend getting stainless steel or like anything other than acrylic. So like silicone, you know, unless you're allergic to silicone, then these are my first 0 gauge like gauges. I got to these ones at Hot Topic because they have a lot of jewelry, and they can also help you. Like if you have questions, you can ask them. Like, they'll answer you. Always clean your hands. Always clean your hands when you stretch. Always. Because if you don't, then because when I stretched, I wouldn't wash my hands. I would just put the oil on and put it in there, and it hurts so much. That's why I'm trying to, like, that's why I'm saying, like, use warm water, then rub the ear oil on your ears. Do this, you know, and then put the jewelry in. It'll go in mad fast. So you also have to be careful too, because tapers are not meant to be jewelry. Like, they're not meant to be worn in for a long periods of time. So at some point you have to change them out. There's a difference between, actually, I'm lying to you. I used to have a 0 gauge taper, but I gave it to someone, so I can't really, like, tell you. But this is what a 00 taper looks like. Like, that's a pretty big difference. I was told that your biggest stretches are from a 6 to a 4 and then a 2 to a 0. I don't know why. I was just told that, and it hurt a lot because when I went from a 4 to a 2, it didn't hurt. I was like, wow, that was surprisingly easier than from a 6 to a 4. But when I went from a 2 to a 0, I actually had one ear that was a 0 and one ear that was a double 0 for months because that's how much it hurt and because I didn't do it correctly. So that's what it looks like. I'm also gonna show you my jewelry that I have in case you want them because they're cute. I'm allergic to these, so I can't wear them because they're acrylics. I really like. Actually, one time I woke up in the middle of the night and I was like, oh God, my ears hurt so much. And so I went in the mirror and my ear was so big and so red and it was pussy. And I was like, I barely put it in. So I'm gonna show you the difference in size. Here is a double 0 and here is a 0. So that's why it was such a big jump from a 0 to a double 0. And you can clearly tell the difference. So that was like personally the biggest stretch I had to do. I don't know if I want to go any bigger. I might want to go bigger at some point, but just not now. I currently have 7 double 0 jewelry silicone plugs because I really like them. So here is the blue ones. And here's my Rick and Morty ones. I love these. And here, I'm actually lying. I had more. It's just I lost the other pair to these ones. They both fell down my sink drain. I was so sad. I was like, and then I have these ones. And then of course these ones. Oh, and I also have some diamond ones. I love those. I really love those. Like, I love them. But the healing and aftercare for your gauges, it's recommended that you wash them. Don't take them out. Wash them with warm water and salt mixed together, and like don't rub your fingers. Like maybe like dip your ear in there and then like do that, and then get like a Q-tip and just wipe around it to help the process become like easier and not like that's just what I recommend. You don't have to do it. You can do it however you want to, but I still wouldn't recommend just shoving the jewelry in because that's gonna hurt a lot. And I know that the 14 gauge doesn't look big, but when you stretch dry, it hurts. It hurts. Like, it's painful. But like I said, if you do it right, if you use the warm water, it's gonna be easier. Once it goes to you changing from the taper to like to something like this, I recommend when you do it, you do this. Hold on. When you change your jewelry, when you like quite a few weeks after you have your taper in, I recommend you do this. I recommend doing this. So like, let's say this is clean, but let's say Okay, so let's say this is the, like, I just, not just, but like a few weeks after I put this in. Also, the reason why professionals tell you not to wear tapers is because your ears start to do this. Like, they start to hang. And that's not good. So that's why you need to also change your jewelry to like something like this, or or like you can wear these after your ears are healed. Wear these for like a short period of time. So what you would do if it's like done, so you get this, you put it on the hole, make sure you got it, hold it, make sure your hands are clean, and then just push, and then it'll be in. So you just have to make sure like you hold them together, because if you don't, it's gonna come out and it's gonna hurt when it comes out. But those were some safety tips, sanitation tips on how to properly stretch your ears. Thank you for watching. Like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.